the study of law is something new and unfamiliar to most of you, unlike any other schooling that you have ever known before.
First years are hard years, much more than we know. With good friends to love us, we'll feel every blow. Stay open to all things, unknown and new. And one day, we'll all say, hey, look, we've come through the first year.
You teach yourselves the law, but I train your minds. You come in here with a skull full of mush, and if you survive, you leave thinking like a lawyer.
Mixed, Hart. Come on, it's mixed already.
Oh, I'm sorry, Ernie. Our con law instructor gave us a whole extra chapter.
What is that stuff, anyway?
Separation of powers.
Yeah. Read a little lower. See if it says anything about separation from paycheck.
2 beers, a bourbon, and soda.
Got it.
I found a telephone message for you on your door.
Hey, that's not yours!
Are you in some kind of trouble, Hart?
Trouble? What are you talking about?
The message. He wants to see you. Kingsfield. Right now.
I'll be with you in a moment, Mr. Hart. I've called you here, Mr. Hart, to discuss your work.
My work, sir?
There is no need for paranoia, Mr. Hart. In less than 2 weeks, I shall be arguing a case before the Court of Appeals. Although I am presently being assisted by a third-year student, this case is important enough to call for the addition of a second student assistant. You, Mr. Hart.
Me, sir?
You seem to have doubts.
Sir, I'm just a 1L. I have no experience.
In every court case, there are a number of duties, large and small, Mr. Hart. Assistants are necessary for such essential details as checking citations or running to the library for pertinent material. I take it there is nothing wrong with your eyes or your legs, Mr. Hart.
No, sir.
Good. Mrs. Nottingham will provide you with further information. Good day, Mr. Hart.
Yes, sir.
I don't care how busy you say you are. Working with Kingsfield is the chance of a lifetime.
Working? I mean, carrying his briefcase, getting him coffee. I'd just be his flunky. I'm a 1L. You know he wouldn't let me do anything but sight check.
But you'll be with him all the time. That's what counts. How'd you manage, anyhow?
Manage what?
Getting him to take you in on the Manchester case.
I haven't the slightest idea. All I know, I didn't even know the name of the case until just now.
You're putting me on.
No, the only thing I know is that I've got enough work to keep me busy for the next 10 years. And now a reply brief in 12 days.
Nobody said law school was easy, Hart.
Who's talking about law school? I'm talking about conscription. I gotta go see my drill sergeant in 10 minutes. 3L guy named, J.K. Snow.
Snow? Hart, this is not just any 3L. Snow happens to be associate editor of Law Review. He's the one who ranked trial practice. I think every law firm in the country is after him. Oh, Hart, this has got to be one of your most memorable experiences in law school.
That's what I'm afraid of.
It's open. No, I'm not definite on Frisco yet. Well, I've got 2 great offers from up there. Yeah, but the work's, pretty conservative, no pizzazz. Actually, the one from Denver sounds good. I think they're going to be the hottest environmental law firm in the country.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, I've got to let someone know one way or the other pretty soon. Look, I got to run. Okay. Yeah, I'll call you. All right, take care. So you're Hart, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, Hart. You're a third-year law student. You're just about to graduate. You've had lots of great offers from all over the country. Now, all things being equal, what are you out for? Top dollar? Best climate? Or the most challenging work?
Well, I'd have to think about it, I guess.
Kind of a dilemma.
Sounds like it.
I'll tell you, these past few weeks have been the most pleasurable torture I've ever been through. I have logged more miles and fancy dinners than a Fuller Brushman. I mean, L.A., New York.
Listen, I hate to be abrupt, but I've got tons of work to do before class tomorrow. Is there any chance we could get started?
You're still running scared, huh?
Scared?
All right, don't get defensive. We've all been through it. It's just like your first pair of shoes. You'll grow out of it soon enough. Okay. Here are the briefs. I suggest you get to learn them like your own name. Each case is important, theirs and ours. At present, we're drafting a reply brief for Kingsfield. Now, Hart, I'd like you to... You know something, Hart? I'd be less than honest if I didn't tell you right up front that I was opposed to you coming on this case.
I don't understand.
But it's nothing personal. It's just unprecedented. Kingsfield bringing in an inexperienced assistant. There are plenty of 3Ls who could have used the credit on their resumes and who undoubtedly could do a better job.
You know, you're judging me before I've even started. How do you know what I can do?
Hart, you're a 1L.
Seriously, can you imagine working with Kingsfield on a one-to-one basis?
I'd love it.
You would, how about that? Hey, look who's here.
Oh.
Hey, Hart, what's going on?
Hart, where have you been? I waited up for you half the night.
You were not in your room this morning.
I know. I grabbed a quick shower and made it over to the library. I have a pile of work to do.
To be with Kingsfield on the Manchester case.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Why is it everyone's congratulating me and I feel like I'm in front of a firing squad?
Well, do you have any last words?
Yes. Help!
You'll get plenty of help from J.K. Snow. He's one of the top 3Ls.
Yeah, he can do a lot for you.
Well, right now he's doing a lot to me.
What do you mean?
I mean, we had 8 points to cover. He took the first 2, gave me the last 6.
Oh, great. 3 times the workload.
Doesn't sound like the J.K. Snow I heard about. I understood he was great to work for in law review. Hard-working, thorough, always had time to help.
Yeah, well, maybe that was him before all the interviews. Now his head is filled with salary arrangements, retirement plans, and medical benefits.
So? That's what we're all driving for, isn't it?
Well, maybe, but I'm going to need those medical plans long before he does. I'll see you.
Take care.
Bye.
There you go. Instant energy.
Thanks. Ernie, I really appreciate you letting me slide a little tonight.
Nah, slow night anyway. Interesting case, huh?
It's great. Kingsfield represents this non-profit organization, the Mid-American Foundation.
Mm-hmm.
They administer millions of dollars each year to charitable institutions.
A hospital and stuff like that, huh?
Right. Anyway, this eccentric billionaire donated several $1 million to Mid-American, and after he died, Mid-American announced that they were going to convey $2 million in his name to this cancer hospital, but the son, Manchester...
Wait, don't tell me. He wanted the cash for himself.
Right. He filed suit and won. The lower court ruled against Mid-American. Mid-American appealed and called in Kingsfield.
And Hart.
Yeah.
Hey, Hart. I've been looking for you.
Oh, hi.
Can you take care of this for me?
What is it?
There's just a few cases to check. I was going to run them down myself tonight, but Bob Riker's in town. Riker and Stansfield in L.A., and I think they may have a place for me.
There are over 20 cases here.
Yeah, more or less. But look, this is only night in town. Thanks, Hart.
Forms. Printed forms prepared by one party and given to the other, who has had no opportunity to negotiate. This is known as an adhesion contract. In the case of landlord-tenant... Mr. Hart, I trust we are not keeping you awake.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Perhaps you'd care to spend a few moments of your time with us and discuss National Realty Company case?
Well, the court held that a landlord could... I'm sorry, sir. I'm just not prepared to discuss today's cases.
I see. And since Justice Cardozo's opinion was not of sufficient quality to warrant your interest, perhaps you'd find his lengthy article on the subject in 58 Yale Law Review 567 more captivating. We anxiously await your report when next we meet.
But, sir, I spent over 10 hours last night working on...
Whatever you may have spent your time on, your work in this class is more important. Mr. Bell, National Realty Company case, please.
National Realty versus Ira Fredericks. The plaintiff gave the defendant a standard renewal form for his lease and requested his signature of a...
There's only 7 cases here.
Yeah, that's all I had time for.
Well, what about the others?
They're in the library.
Hart!
Look, Snow, there are only 24 hours in a day. Now, I've already got more than my share of this project as it is, and I'll be damned if I'm going to cover for you.
It was Riker's only night on campus. There was nothing I could do about last night.
Well, what about Kingsfield? You owe more than treating this like it was a walk in the park.
I didn't make law review in 4th in my class by sitting on my background. You think your workload is bad now? Wait till you have to write 1 law review article and edit 2 others while you're preparing a case for trial practice. You don't know what work is, Hart. Well, if you can't take the pressure, baby, bail out. We won't have any trouble finding somebody else to do your job.
Well, you start looking, and right now.
Hey, what?
He's dropping out of the Manchester case.
Insanity.
It's not insanity. He's exhausted. I was talking to him and he fell dead asleep in the middle of a sentence. It's too much for him, for any human being.
Since when is a 1L a human being?
Well, come on, we can't let him quit.
Yeah, but if he wants to.
But he's irrational right now, Ford.
36 hours without sleep, I'd be irrational, too.
Well, look, we formed this study group to pool our resources so that one person wouldn't have to bear all the pressure. Now, why not apply that same reasoning now?
Oh, wait, I see what's coming. I already got enough work to do.
But if we just cover Hart in his daily assignments, he can concentrate exclusively on the Kingsfield case. And if we all pitch in, none of us will have to do that much extra. Now, what do you say?
Sure, gives him a breather.
As long as I don't have to brief any new cases.
Well, Ford, you're awfully quiet.
Look, don't take this the wrong way. I sympathize with Hart, I do. But this is entirely outside the scope of the study group.
Well, now, that wouldn't be the sound of sour grapes, would it, Ford?
Care to qualify your innuendo, Bell?
What innuendo? We all know you'd give your middle name to be in Hart's shoes.
Look, Bell.
All right, hold it. Ford's right. This is outside the parameters of the study group. But it's more than just a group problem. Hart's a friend. Now, do we help him or let him hang?
I never said I wouldn't help a friend.
How long did you say Hart's going to be tied up for?
Hey, waiter. That's not my table, man.
Bill! What do you think you're doing?
It look like I'm doing. Don't answer that. We've been waiting for you. Get your butt right over there.
Hello, Logan. Hi, Anderson.
Now sit down and pay attention.
What?
Here, tomorrow's con law assignment. The cases are briefed, and all the key issues are underlined in yellow.
And here's torts and civil procedure. We're still working on criminal law.
Guess what's going on?
We're covering for you, Hart.
Now you can get back to work in the Manchester case.
Wait a minute, I'm out of the Manchester case.
No, you were out of the Manchester case.
We talked to Snow. We told him you changed your mind.
You did what?
That case is made to order for you, Hart.
Made to order? Doing the work for 2 people?
Hart, you've got to regain your perspective.
You walk away from this, you're not walking away from Snow, you're walking away from Kingsfield and from yourself.
And we're giving you a chance to alleviate the pressure and giving you the time you need. Unless there's something else.
Look, this isn't a hypothetical case. It's not a classroom exercise. It's real. With real issues and real people. That's a lot of responsibility.
Are you quitting because you're afraid?
Yeah, I guess I am.
And do you think Kingsley will pick you if he didn't think that you could handle it?
Yeah, chew on that for a while, Hart.
Bell, plunge her up. Give me a beer, will you?
Hart. Hey, I can't tell you how glad I am to have you back on the team, buddy. Give me a beer, will you, waiter? I knew that with a little sleep and some mature reflection, you'd reevaluate your position.
Well,
It's a good opportunity for you, Hart. Now listen, I just got a call from the Denver outfit I was telling you about. Environmental experts. It's the new thing. So they want me to fly out there for the weekend. I'm gonna leave tomorrow night. Now, I know I told you that you could give me the first draft of the brief on Monday, but I'd kind of like to take it with me and read it on the plane.
So you want it by tomorrow night?
By 10. Gonna catch the midnight flight. I hate to throw your timetable off like this, but what can I say?
Hart?
Sure. By 10, you'll have it.
Hey, that's great. You got that beer?
Yes, sir.
Let me have another round for everybody.
Sure.
Oh, gee, I'm sorry.
Gee, it's my first day, sir.
Where's the when you work your brain? It's your body that hurts.
Ask a med student.
Oh, perfect candidate for one of his oxygen tanks right now.
Well, maybe this will help. It's a law review article on fraud and the inducement. It's on point, at least with their argument that... Now, look, Hart, I'm not trying to steal your thunder. I wish I were working on the case, but it's yours. I'd just like to follow up on it.
Great.
You heard from Snow yet?
Yeah, he came in from Denver last night. Took everything we had over to Kingsfield this morning.
You see as part of the brief?
I gotta give him credit. Came up with a precedent. The Blackwood case? It's right on. Fact situation's almost identical.
Where'd the case come from?
Somehow he found it. I guess he didn't spend all this time at 3 martini lunches.
Mm-hmm. So you think with this Blackwood case, Kingsfield has a shot at winning?
Great shot. He's probably giving Snow a medal right now.
Unadulterated trash.
Well, it needs work, of course, sir, but it's only a first draft.
No excuses, Mr. Snow. I am bitterly disappointed in you.
Well, it's a busy time, sir. And you asked me to work with the 1L.
And you grossly abused my confidence in you.
Sir?
I brought Mr. Hart into this case to be of help, not to carry a disproportionate share of the responsibility of this case.
We did work together, sir.
Indeed. And from the diversity of writing styles, it's quite clear you took flagrant advantage of Mr. Hart.
I found the Blackwood case, sir.
I congratulate you for having contributed something, Mr. Snow.
Professor Kingsfield, you have to understand. It's been difficult for me balancing my schedule between law review and my classes and...
And the allure of country club memberships and fringe benefits.
Sir, you know interviewing is important.
Since these ceremonial rites seem to occupy such a predominant place in your agenda, you may devote your full attention to them from now on. I am dismissing you from the Manchester case, Mr. Snow, as of this moment.
But, sir, you can't.
Mrs. Nottingham, get me Mr. Hart. I've made a number of major changes in the draft, and I've given it to the printer.
And the briefing's finished, sir?
The briefing, yes. However, since I shall need further assistance to prepare for the argument itself, please read the trial transcript and familiarize yourself with the facts of the case. It's there on the table.
Yes, sir. Shouldn't Mr. Snow have that?
Mr. Snow is no longer involved in this case.
No. He's not?
As of now, you are my sole aid, Mr. Hart. The transcript, and we leave for New York day after tomorrow.
New York?
More popularly known as the Big Apple, Mr. Hart.
Sir.
Thank you.
You know, this is a beautiful hotel, sir.
This is a private club founded in 1783. Now, I want you to go out and get some 4x6 index cards and make short synopses of all presidential cases.
4x6 index cards. Yes, sir.
Cocktails in the club room at 6. Please be punctual.
I'm sorry I'm late. I had trouble finding those index cards, the drugstore.
James Hart, my research assistant.
George Donenfeld, and this is my associate, Paul Gilbert.
How do you do?
How do you do? You're counsel for Manchester?
No need for concern, Mr. Hart. Although we're adversaries in the courtroom, the canons of ethics don't require us to remain in neutral corners.
Next time, we might be allies.
It's the nature of the game, Mr. Hart. We're gentlemen. Brothers of the bar first, representatives of our clients second.
You in your third year, Hart?
No, first.
Aha, bringing in a freshman sensation, Charles? You must be very gifted. Have you thought about a summer internship? Usually we hire second-year students, but if Charles has put himself in your hands, you're a young man to be watched.
You wanted to make that phone call to Chicago, sir. It's getting late.
Yes, of course. Will you excuse us?
Certainly.
We're still on for dinner, Charles?
Of course.
Nice to meet you.
Good to meet you.
Sir, excuse me?
All right.
This is a beautiful room, sir.
Yes, it is. Before it was converted, it was a conference room. Arrangements for the inauguration of our first president were made right here.
It's a register in the lobby reads like a history book. Statesmen, senators, justices of the Supreme Court.
And all lawyers, Mr. Hart, like these men. But they belong to a bygone age, I'm afraid. The enthusiasm, the loyalties, the principles, they're no longer to be found in our society.
There's still some men like that today?
A pitiful few, and none with the dedication of these great men. Mark them well, Mr. Hart. They have left us a notable heritage. Well, I won't keep you any longer. I still expect only half of your classroom assignment.
Oh, sir, I'm afraid I haven't had time to read the assignment. I spent all my time working on the Manchester case.
Mr. Hart, you will have no excuse for being unprepared.
Hart. Thanks anyway. I was just writing you a note. Where you going?
That's my room.
Prepare the old master for tomorrow, huh?
And myself.
Hey, listen, I'm going out with friends for a couple of drinks. Really like you to join us.
Oh, I have a lot of work to do.
Oh, no. We're not going to stay out all night. Hart, these friends are female. They're beautiful. Come on, what do you say?
Well, maybe just for a little while.
Okay, good. I'll see you out front, 8 o'clock.
Okay, good.
Seriously, Charles, you don't really think you're going to win this Manchester case, do you? I mean, the law is squarely against you.
You've read all the briefs?
Of course. Well, we just received your reply brief, but you know how those things go. Just a rehash of everything.
Don't tell that to my young assistant. He spent all his waking hours on this case.
Apparently, not all of his waking hours, Charles. You obviously think the young man's going to make a fine lawyer.
That is entirely up to him.
Now tell me this isn't more fun than running over the Manchester case.
Yes, this is a great club.
Not bad. There's a disco in D.C. Makes this place look like a third-rate bar. Hey, let's sit this one out. I'm not as young as I used to be, all right?
Listen, do you spend a lot of time in Washington?
And he never takes me with him.
I'm getting to be that firm's regulatory expert.
Paul says you have a brilliant career ahead of you.
Well, I hope so.
What kind of a lawyer are you going to be?
I haven't really decided yet.
There's no rush. You've got plenty of time. Hey, you know that internship that Donenfeld was talking to you about?
Oh, he wasn't serious?
He was dead serious. But if he offers it to you, you pass.
I pass? I don't understand.
I'm not always going to be with Donenfeld. I want to keep my options open. I mean, an 8-year associateship. That's archaic, even for New York.
Yeah, but this is just a summer job.
Summer job? Hart. Internships lead to permanent positions. The better the internship, the better the position, the better the salary.
Yeah, but isn't this a little premature?
Hart, you are from the law school. Guys like you're Heisman Trophy winners. Ladies, Hart here is what we call a top draft choice.
Well, then, I'm honored to be with such a prospect.
All right!
Ford? Hey, either of you seen Ford?
This is the library.
He's doing more work on the Manchester case.
I don't believe Ford. I mean, he acts like he's in New York with Kingsfield instead of Hart.
Well, let him dream.
Well, speaking of New York, I wonder where the young Mr. Hart is right now.
Well, if I know Hart, He's probably locked in his room, sweating over the last details of the case.
Don't go too far. We'll be right back.
Look, we'll be at the bar. Hey, you want a beer?
I'd love a beer. Listen, those girls are great.
Yes, and very impressed with bright young lawyers. Grab 2 beers, please.
Hey, it's getting late.
Relax, it's early. But before I forget, I know this guy, Gary Spencer. He's a junior partner with a Wall Street law firm. He's in town looking for a summer intern. If you take that job, you will have your pick after graduation of any firm in New York.
I would?
Hart, you have endless possibilities. You gotta start thinking about that right now.
Look, Bob, I don't want to sound, ungrateful or anything, but why are you matchmaking for me? I mean, I appreciate it, but we've only known each other for a couple of hours.
Well, that's a relevant question. I'll tell you, I'm gonna have my own law firm in a couple of years. And if I do you a favor, if I connect you with some big firm someplace, someday you may be in need of co-counsel in New York. You may be asked to recommend a New York law firm. Mine.
I see.
And I would return the favor. I would send business your way. And look, besides being such a good guy, I'm a good lawyer. And we good lawyers have got to stick together, right?
Right. But this good lawyer has got to get back to the law.
Relax, I'm telling you, it's early. And there are the beautiful women.
Thank you, kind sir.
No. I really should go back. I got a lot of material to cover before tomorrow.
Julie, can't you persuade this man to stick around a little while?
I hope so. Come on, Hart, dance with me.
No,
Thanks again, Paul. I had a great time.
Okay. I'll see you in the morning.
Okay, good night. Good evening. Is the club room still open?
To any member who wishes to use it, sir.
Thank you.
Mr. Hart, very impressive, aren't they?
Professor Kingsfield. I didn't think you'd be awake.
Don't be alarmed, Mr. Hart. Sometimes sleep eludes me and I while away the hours with a good book. Did you have a pleasant evening?
Oh, yes, sir.
Not with a book, however.
Well...
Now, you may not believe this, but when I was your age, my appetites were not always entirely cerebral.
Oh, I'm sure, sir. Well, I mean...
What interests me is that after your night of festivities, you should wander in here to look at those portraits.
It was just an impulse, sir. I felt I wanted to be with these men just for a few minutes.
But they're just paint and canvas. They can't see or hear or speak to you.
No, I'm not so sure, sir. Sometimes I get vibes.
I understand the vernacular. You feel that they have something to say to you.
Yeah. Yeah, that's it.
Well, I advise you to listen to them very carefully, Mr. Hart. Good night.
Good night, sir. I'll see you in the morning.
Anderson? Anderson? Anderson. Anderson, wake up. Wake up, come on.
Ford, it's 4 o'clock in the morning.
Anderson, listen to me. Hart's in trouble.
An accident?
No, on the case with Kingsfield.
What are you talking about?
The appeal and the Blackwood case, the one they were relying on, it was reversed last week.
Reversed?
Yeah, I just found out in Shepherd's.
Didn't Hart check it out?
Well, Snow found the case. Hart must have assumed he checked it.
Are you sure?
Anderson, I'm telling you, I just Shepherdized it myself. I found it in the latest supplement.
If Kingsfield goes into court with a case that's been overruled, he'll be humiliated.
And what about Hart?
Excuse me, have you seen my associate this morning? He was supposed to meet me here.
Mr. Hart?
Yes.
I went out early, almost an hour ago. He left this note for you, sir. There you are. Hey, I've been looking all over this courthouse for you.
Morning, Paul.
It's a little late for that, isn't it? Didn't you already Shepherdize your cases?
Well, yeah, the ones I use, but there was another research assistant. I was just running his through.
Oh. Well, take some time out. Come on, Spencer's waiting for us.
Spencer.
I told you about him last night. The summer internship, Wall Street.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, come on, let's go.
After the argument, I've really got to check out these cases.
Hey, your argument isn't for another couple of hours yet. Spencer's going to be leaving. Now, if you don't talk to him now, you might not get another chance. Hart, this is important.
Yeah, but so's this. Oh, thank you for the chance, Paul, but no thanks.
Yes, that's right. Hart. James T. Hart. Thank you. They're ringing.
Yeah, loud and long, I hope. Hart sleeps like a corpse.
Hello? Well, he has to be. Well, maybe he's having breakfast. Would you have him paged, please? Thank you. They're giving me the desk. Yes, I'm trying to find James T. Hart. He's a guest with Professor Charles Kingsfield. He did? When? Well, do you know where he went? All right. Thank you. He left early. Well, we'll try him at the courthouse.
You think we'll get him in time?
Yeah, they don't go into court till 10. Hart told me they were the second case. I have to take a shower.
I'll see you later.
You're here very early, Mr. Hart.
Morning, sir. I was just doing some checking.
I gather the portraits told you something last night?
Maybe I told myself something.
Good. Well, we've just had word the first case has been settled, so we've been moved up.
Well, it'll take me no more than a half hour.
I'm sure your preparation was very thorough. Come, Mr. Hart, we cannot keep the judicial process waiting.
Hart. James Hart. He is with Professor Charles W. Kingsfield, Jr. They are pleading the Manchester case. Well, you have to find him. It's an emergency.
Nervous, Mr. Hart?
Yes.
I don't blame you.
All rise. Manchester versus Mid-American Foundation.
If it please the court, before we proceed, I would like to introduce Mr. James Hart, one of my students who helped in the preparation of this argument.
Mr. Hart? Mr. Donenfeld, Professor Kingsfield, would you approach the bench, please? Gentlemen, I don't think we have to go into too much discussion and too much laying the ground rules, you understand? Now, from what I understand of this case, I see no reason why we can't proceed expeditiously.
You James Hart?
Yes?
There's a phone call for you.
Phone call? I can't take it right now.
The man says he has to talk to you right away.
Yeah, but we're beginning.
It's an emergency. It's the one on the end, the one that's blinking.
Thank you. Hello? Ford, what is it? We're starting the hearing and... What? But... Ford, are you sure?
Furthermore, the respondent's reliance on the Draper case is misplaced. Clearly, the facts of the Manchester case speak for themselves. The elder Manchester was of sufficient mental capacity to enter into an agreement with the Mid-American Foundation, which brings me to the most relevant and persuasive case to be discussed in this appeal. The Blackwood case, which was tried in...
Excuse me, Professor Kingsfield. Surely you know that the decision in the Blackwood case was recently reversed.
Of course I do, by a slim and unconvincing 5-4 majority. I have the slip opinion and find it interesting that the majority rendered its decision without opinion. Until there is further clarification of the grounds upon which this decision rests, let us turn our attention to the minority opinion, brilliantly written by Chief Justice William Marshall, wherein he strongly and rightly argues that regardless of technical omissions, mistakes, or clerical errors, no matter how grave, equitable principles of justice require the law to uphold the intent of the parties. And in this case, there is no question that the elder Manchester intended that his fortune be administered by Mid-American and kept out of the hands of his profligate son. The decision now rests with you.
He didn't say one word to me. Not even on the way back. Felt like I was riding in a hearse.
Well, he must have understood it was Snow's fault.
Who's supposed to carry through in the Blackwood case?
But it's still my responsibility. And if I'd stayed in my room that night instead of going to that disco, I'd have picked up that reversal.
Well, anyhow, Kingsfield won. That ought to make him feel good.
Hey.
Today, before we begin, I wish to call your attention to the work of one of your fellow students, Mr. Hart, who assisted me in an important case. Here and now, I wish to commend him. With one exception, his efforts were in keeping with my demands for total loyalty, enthusiasm, and dedication. Mr. Hart, will you tell us, has this experience taught you anything? Has it given you any great insight into the workings of the law and of human nature?
Yes, sir. To err is human, to forgive divine.
The first years are hard years, much more than we know. With good friends to love us, we'll feel every blow. Stay open to all things, and one day we'll all say, hey, look, we've come through the first years.
This case is important enough to call for the addition of a second student assistant. You, Mr. Hart.
Me, sir?
You don't know what work is, Hart. Well, if you can't take the pressure, baby, bail out. We won't have any trouble finding somebody else to do your job.
Well, you start looking, and right now.
The Blackwood case, the one they were relying on, it was reversed last week.
If Kingsfield goes into court with a case that's been overruled, they'll be humiliated.
And what about Hart?